I'm Sarah the Rebel, and this is Women Wrestling Friends, a podcast where I talk about wrestling with my gal pals. And today's gal pal is Raelene.
Hi.
Burr, 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 burr. Normally my co-host Tamara is here to help make noises with me, but she's actually hurt from Comic-Con. Damn you, Comic-Con. We actually got the same injury, different ways. I did it wrestling, she did it walking.
Oh, okay.
So Raelene and I first met when we trained together at Santino Bros, and today we're going to talk about WWE Battleground, but first we're going to talk to you and ask you questions about wrestling, because that's what the show is about.
Let's get started.
So when did you first start watching wrestling, and what got you into it?
Ooh, I started watching wrestling when I was a kid. I loved it. You know, I think everybody watched it in the 90s. It was like the Attitude Era. Everybody just loved it. It was so badass. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah, you can say it. We cuss like
it's so badass. You know, watching everybody from The Rock to Stone Cold to like Shawn Michaels and D-Generation X, like, is just, you know, I don't know, my parents watched it, I watched it, me and my sister would watch it, and like bedtime was 9 o'clock, but that's when Monday Night Raw would start, so we would be like in the hallway watching it, like trying to sneak in and see what was going on, and then like we'd hear like our parents get up and like we'd run back to run back to our bedroom, and we'd get in trouble, like go to sleep. But honestly, like I loved it. I loved it as a kid, and then I kind of started fading off. You know, when you get older, kind of like you fade out of it, and then just one day I was watching. I was 19. I was watching TV, and I was going through the channels, and I was like, wait, this is still on. I went to USA and I just saw Stone Cold, and then I got into it again, and then it just, you know, watching wrestling made me happy, and I just loved it.
It's funny, we talked about it on the last show, like almost all of us have the gap where we stopped watching and then we came back to it. So do you have a favorite wrestler?
I do. His name is John Cena.
I couldn't see. I couldn't see.
You know, you couldn't see. I love John Cena.
What do you love about him? It's an interesting choice.
It is, honestly. I think when I first started watching it again, his character was really developed already, and he was already there for a couple years. He made his name. It was after the Thugonomics and everything. And I loved what he stood for. Like, never give up, you know, like, you work hard to get where you're at, and I just loved everything his character, and like it's not just a character, it's who he really is, and it was, you know, inspiring to me and motivating to me, and like I fell in love with who he is, and
that is an
Nikki is a very lucky woman.
She is, because he's rich too. But that is an interesting point. You know, a lot of people hate on Roman Reigns, and there's various wrestlers where we're seeing them being pushed. And so for those of us who see that portion of it, we don't like them. And that happened with Cena.
Yeah.
And so the difference of coming in when a character is fully developed versus when they're first starting. So I wonder how many people just hop into wrestling now and are like, Roman Reigns is awesome. He's like a superhero,
That's
you know?
True.
So good way to think about it. Do you have any favorite matches or anything you remember that you were like, this is amazing?
I don't have a favorite match, honestly. I do love a lot of like the Attitude Era matches, you know?
Where we get some blood and
Survivor Series, like, you know, Buried Alive matches, like those are the ones I think about. Those are the ones that excite me, like, oh my gosh, the what is it, the casket matches. I always love those when like it closed and then like Undertaker would just sit up like out of nowhere and just be like looking around. I'm just like, oh, that one was so cool. And then I remember the matches that Kane would have with the fire around the rings, like those were awesome. But I don't really have a favorite match, honestly. If I do have one, I loved when John Cena and The Rock faced a couple years back at WrestleMania, and they had their little thing going on for a while. That was like definitely one. I was like brought the magazines. I had like my posters up in my room. I was like all for John Cena. So that was definitely one of the matches that I definitely remember.
Yeah, but considered one of the greats from WrestleMania.
Definitely. Yeah. So.
And guys, if you hear a strange noise, it's just my tummy rumbling in the background. I swear I ate. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a mess right now. Let me tell you my injuries real quick. Brief intermission. So I somehow pulled a pec muscle doing Pilates with weights because the weights were too heavy. Yeah, I'm like rubbing my boob all through Pride, like, oh god. I landed wrong and up and over and twisted my ankle, which hurt my foot. And it got re-aggravated because somebody didn't base properly on a hip toss and landed on my foot. And my back of my knee is cramping. I don't know if that has a name. So I'm just over here a mess, stomach growling. How are you guys? Tell me in the comments. So, like I said, we met at Santino Brothers, which I just described all my injuries from. What made you sign up? What made you take the plunge into trying to become a wrestler?
Well, like I said before, like I was interested. I started watching it at 19, and I loved watching it. I loved watching the women's division, and I guess you can say I wanted more, from the women's division. So I guess what it is now is what I guess we always wanted to see. And I just, something for years, I just thought about it in the back of my head, like, I want to try it. I want to know if this is for me. Like, I waited, 4 years to actually go after this, dream I thought I had, and I finally went for it. Like, I found, signs and clues, and I went to a show in Anaheim at the Honda Center. It was a Monday Night Raw. And they were handing out flyers, and I was like, if this isn't a sign, I don't know what is. So I signed up. I thought about it. I started working out and, trying to get in shape, get my fitness, get my fitness on. And I signed up, and it went on from there.
Yep. Do you still do CrossFit? I remember that was something you were using.
I do CrossFit. I'm not currently doing CrossFit right now. I just do regular gym, lifting weights, kind of bodybuilding style. But I do miss CrossFit. I do love CrossFit. It's definitely intense, and I would love to do it again. But I'm kind of exploring, different things. Like, I want to try kickboxing and, Pilates. Definitely want to try Pilates and more yoga and, just boot camp kind of stuff. I've done boot camp before as well, but I like to try different things in my fitness journey.
I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you when we were training together, but you were my fitness inspiration.
Oh.
Because you were the girl who was able to keep up with a lot of the workout parts of it. And I was like, I want to be like that. And you would talk about CrossFit, and I was like, I got to get into shape. So
definitely.
You were an inspiration.
I actually started doing CrossFit because I saw Seth Rollins, who was the WWE champion at one time, and I saw him doing CrossFit, and he thanked CrossFit for having the strong core and be able to do a lot of the matches that he was and to be able to last as long as he did. So I was like, you know what? Me and some of my coworkers, we went to go try it. And I signed up right away. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. And it's so family-oriented at the one I went to. Everyone's, encouraging. It's yeah, push yourself. And you have someone to push you to go that extra mile and to go that extra step and to do a lot of, things you wouldn't think you'd be able to do. So it was definitely a good experience. I would love to do it again, and it definitely helped me to be able to handle some of the stuff that I did during Santino Bros training. Right.
So you ended up dropping out of school, and I did too the first time because it's really intense. But
yes.
Do you have any advice for any women who are thinking of starting training? Anything you wish you had known, or things that helped?
Don't hesitate to go after it. I mean, I kind of wish I didn't wait so long, but I guess timing is everything. Definitely, just try it out. If you're thinking about it, you even have it's at the back of your head and you're I don't know, just try it, because you won't know until you're there and you're going through all the steps and the training. The training is intense,
it's nothing you
cardio.
Could ever do.
I remember I went to see and it was a SummerSlam. I went to hear Stone Cold talk in his little what is it? Not ceremony, but seminar that he was having, and he was if you ever want to do this, get your cardio up. And I did. It wasn't the best I could have been, I guess, at that point of time, but definitely cardio definitely helped to keep up with a lot of stuff. Just work out, and you have to be fit to be in this industry. I mean, not necessarily 100% fit, because look at what's her name, Nia Jax, but she can keep up in the ring.
She's athletic,
and she's very athletic
don't think by fitness we mean you have to be skinny.
Exactly, but you have to be strong. Definitely strong. Look at Charlotte. She is the queen. She is a beast. Beast in the ring. My goodness. She can kick some ass for sure. Kick some guys' ass too. I would love to see that.
I know, right? Why are we pretending that Charlotte can't fight a guy?
Seriously.
She clearly can.
What do you call it? Sasha Banks kind of did it in a match with what's his name?
Did I miss that one? Oh wait, was it yep, I know where you're.
Yes. How do we go? Oh my gosh, you went blank.
Was it Dar? Noam Dar?
No,
it
was
was it Enzo? No,
Enzo Amore.
There we go.
Yes, tag team. on Monday Night Raw.
I loved that one.
I did love it too. Like, they were both, they were like in sync and kind of going at it with, against their opponents. And I would love to see Charlotte do something. But I kind of got off topic. But yeah, just like, bias, just go after it. If that's what you want to do, that's what you've had in the back of your mind, just try it out. And if it's not what you want, then now you know, and you can figure out something else. Or maybe it's something else you want to try in there. Like, I see a lot of women who are hosting. I would love to do something like that. Like, I've always wanted to work for WWE, and I don't know, maybe,
we'll put that out there. Put that out there for you. And speaking of which, if you live in LA and you happen to be listening, this is probably a very slim chance, but Santino Bros is having a one-day tryout camp this Saturday, and that's a good way to find out if this is something you want to do before committing to a full class or anything like that. So if you want it, if you live in another city, look around, see if there's a wrestling school, ask them if you can watch a class if they don't have like a tryout or a one-day thing. There's nothing to it but to do it. So now let's talk about WWE Battleground.
Yes.
This pay-per-view felt like maybe they took the name too seriously when they were coming up with stipulations, but I'll get into that later. We started off with the New Day and the Usos, and I thought it was the best match of the night. What did you think about it?
You know what? That was definitely one of my favorite matches. Like, you can just tell the crowd was into it, chanting, "This is awesome," and that's how you know they're really engaged to the match, and they're really like watching what everyone's doing. And honestly, I think it was a great match. I love that New Day won. I was super excited that they won because, I love to see Xavier with the little horn and, they're like, New Day rocks, right? I love it. I love, like, their little theme that they have going on. And Usos turning heel, it was definitely, it was different from what we're used to seeing, even though they've been heel for a while. But it was definitely a great match. It had me, glued to the TV and watching everything. And I think they did a really good job of, like, keeping it going. And
there were a lot of near falls and these, like, cool. They did a lot of moments. I think that's what kept their match so exciting. Like, when Xavier got kicked out of the air, or when Kofi got power bombed, like, outside of the ring, there were these moments where you're like, oh, like, that's what wrestling should be. So this was a great match, in my opinion.
Really good match.
Afterwards, you can look it up. They did a little interview. And Xavier Woods was a little misty-eyed because it turns out this is the first time he has won the belts by being the person who pinned somebody. And this is the first time he's won any championship that way. Yeah, he was the one who got the pin.
I mean, I think it showed, like, the moment he, like, pinned and, like, it ended and, like, the bell rang and he was, like, shaking on the ground and the floor. I was, like, so excited. I was like, he won,
He did.
They won it for them.
He did it, baby.
Yes.
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Corbin.
Baron.
How could this be so boring? I don't even know how it was possible.
This match, I don't know. I guess they were both two undefeated, people that came to SmackDown, and I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe two undefeated people to see who was actually going to lose in their streak, but I don't. It sucks because it was a disqualified match. Like, there was no winner, and it's like, what was the point of it?
Disqualification, right? Like, low blows happen all the time. They were literally, some people's moves are low blows.
Yep.
So to have a disqualification off of a low blow, you could have done anything else, guys. You could have had him get a chair out or something.
Yeah.
What? It was strange.
I don't know. I didn't expect that match because Nakamura is very, he's big. He's known for having these matches. So to have a match like that, it was just...
Yeah, because you've got, like, a Golden Gloves boxer, and then you've got, like, strong style, hard-kicking dude. I don't know what they could... I don't even know what they could have done to not be boring. And sometimes I wonder if Baron Corbin maybe just doesn't have, like... hasn't found the person he has chemistry with yet.
I think so. I don't think... He tries to be like this heel and try to go after people, but I don't think he's really met his match yet to really wrestle in the ring with.
And unfortunately, we're going to probably keep seeing this match over and over again, so hopefully they get better.
I know, right?
So next was Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Lana, Natalya. Tamina just threw them all in the pot because that's what they like to do with the women wrestlers. I'm not salty, just a little salty. So I always get nervous whenever there's a bunch of people in a ring because usually it's just a lot of downtime and it can be a little awkward. And we did have awkward moments, but I think overall this was like short, sweet, quick, satisfying. I was pretty fine with it.
I liked the match. It wasn't too bad. Definitely... I wasn't expecting to see, what's it called? got eliminated first? What's her name?
Lana. Oh, Tamina got eliminated first. And
I didn't
then it was
expect
Lana.
that, actually. I expected Lana to definitely be number one, to get eliminated first. But it sucks because it was literally Tamina, Lana by Becky, and then here comes Natty. Boom, Becky, you're out. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. You gotta watch it, you know?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like them saying, look, Becky is strong, but we want to tell another story. I don't know how I feel yet about Lana and Tamina just teaming up in the ring.
Yes.
It seemed a little weird at times. Like, it seemed, like, I questioned the motivations. How come every time Lana called, Tamina came? You know, like, what's going on there? Is there a love story? I don't know. I need something, you know?
Could be her, you know, her new Rusev.
That would be, like, her Lady Rusev.
Her Lady
that would be
Rusev.
great. So Natalya versus Charlotte was kind of like the ending one, and it was great. I mean, at one point,
I liked it.
When Charlotte just lifted her bodily all the way up for that
strength in that woman. Like, she's a beast.
Yeah.
She can do it all. I truly believe she can do it all. And I'm really surprised, though, she did not win. I'm not going to lie, I was hoping Charlotte would win. I would love to see her, you know, SmackDown champion, because it's the things she would do. But you know what? Good for Natalya, because it's been a long time coming for her, and I think that I would love to see a title around her waist as well, you know?
I have a few theories about it. Number one, they mentioned that Natalya, I believe they said she was one away from tying Trish Stratus's pay-per-view counts or beating it. I can't remember which one. Okay. But you know WWE loves those number things. So they may be trying to get her on more pay-per-views so she can beat that. And then also, I think that they do like what they have with Becky and Charlotte and Naomi kind of being friends. The Fire Queen Glow, I can't remember what they call themselves, but I think that they're saving that Charlotte thing, or potentially Natalya wins and then it's Charlotte and Natalya so that Charlotte doesn't have to face Naomi. I don't know. I would love to see Charlotte and Naomi because they're both so athletic, and we got to see a little hint of it, and then like Naomi was saying on commentary, actually, they have unfinished business. It got interrupted.
Definitely. That was definitely, it's like two athletic women in the ring giving it all they got, and I think that would definitely be a match I would love to see from the women.
There's so many talented women, and it really sucks that we keep getting kind of the same matches over and over, when every once in a while they'll have a big match and we'll see people fight each other that we haven't seen before. Like, for example, happened on Raw with like Sasha and Mickie James. And I'm over here like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I want to see Sasha and Mickie James.
Yes.
But we can't see it because that's not the main story. And so I wish they do. I wish they do more than one match a night for the women. I really do.
I totally agree. I think 2 matches, you know, a night for women give more opportunity than to just have it be all in one. You know, split up the opportunities into 2, and I think we'd see a lot more from the women.
Yep, I agree.
Definitely.
So Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. 2 people who are really great in the ring. Personally, wasn't my favorite match from them, but still pretty entertaining. What did you think?
Honestly, I saw that AJ Styles won the title at Madison Square Garden, so I think that was amazing for him, since nobody thought he was going to come into WWE. Nobody thought that he was going to be as far as he was, or he's gotten here in WWE. So I mean, I was excited that he won it then. I was a little disappointed that he lost it that soon from Kevin Owens. I really expected just to give him a little bit more of the, you know, reign of the title, I guess you can say.
Yeah, it was funny to me because a lot of people were like, oh, that's so weird for a title change to happen at a live event, right? But then they were showing little clips during the pay-per-view of people being like, oh my god, it was great. So I hate to be cynical, but I think the WWE did this to like sell tickets to their live events. Like, oh, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because they don't do this anymore. Like, you go to live events, titles on the line, you know, and everyone gets so excited because there can actually be a title change. And then something happens, disqualification, no, that didn't count, you know, restart the match, or it's just something that always happens. So to have that happen at a live event was huge. It doesn't happen very often. Very, very rarely nowadays does it happen. Yeah. Back in the day it used to, but not anymore.
So in this match, I think my favorite part was Kevin Owens was up on the ropes and AJ Styles got him into a torture rack.
Saw that.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Owens is a big dude, so it was pretty impressive.
Carrying him over the shoulders. Yeah. That It's a lot of weight.
If you guys want to see me in a torture rack, if you go to Santino Bros on Twitter, the flyer that they use to promote their stuff, I'm in a blue shirt in a torture rack. A lot of people can't tell it's me because I'm busy going, because I know how to sell. Anyway. So, yep, AJ lost the championship again. But then tonight, we're talking on this Tuesday, I believe it switched back again. I haven't caught up all the way with SmackDown, but that's what I think I'm seeing. So I think it just switched right back, and I don't know what's going on anymore. So we'll see. Also, that ending, I should mention this. That ending seemed weird to me with the pin, and then AJ kind of made a weird face like he thought he had won, or he wasn't too concerned.
Yes, because his shoulders were down, but I don't think he realized that, or maybe felt that his shoulders were down. But because especially since Kevin Owens threw him at the referee.
Right.
So I was like, oh my god, I really thought that. I was like, we're going to have to get a new referee. Someone's going to tap out and they're not going to see. Like, that's what I was thinking in my head. But then I guess the referee was fine. He saw his shoulders were down and I was like, oh my god, is his shoulders really down? Like, is he really going to lose right now? And I thought he was going to kick out.
It
was a slow count.
Yeah, it was like a very emphatic Kevin Owens won clean.
Yeah.
And it was confusing. And I have heard that this was a last minute switch by Vince McMahon.
Really?
So maybe that's why the ending was a little weird. Maybe there was a miscommunication because they had to change something. I don't know. All speculation on my part. We had a flag match with Rusev and Cena. I'm gonna explain this match because in case you didn't see it, it's really weird. So the flags are up in the corners.
Yes.
And your goal is to take the flag out of the corner and put your flag all the way down to the entrance ramp, up 3 steps into a little flag post holder thing.
To claim,
Bulgaria versus the United States. We all feel very angry against the Bulgarians.
That was... I love John Cena. That was a weird match, though, because, most matches you just grab the flag, you won, or, you gotta... I don't know. There was more added on to this match, which did make it, I guess, a little bit longer. But you can kind of tell, like, when Rusev was down and then Cena had the flag and he was kind of, like, stumbling. I was like, oh, you're totally lagging it so he can come and get you. Like,
right.
I could kind of read some of that stuff that was already going on there. However, it did excite me, though, when Rusev did try to get those tables out and try to throw John Cena on it. And I was like, he's not going to let that happen to him. He's not. Like, he has to win this. And sure thing, Rusev's the one that went over. He should have never put those tables out because he's the one that got landed in them.
But I agree. And everyone's saying the same thing. Like, this match was just a little too long. Watching strong, athletic men stumble up some stairs. It's like, okay, this is completely unbelievable. You needed to find another way to do it then. And then also, it was weird to me. When Cena's patriotism is so pure, like, he believes America is inclusive. Mm-hmm. So it was also just weird to be like, oh yeah, John Cena's defending America against Bulgaria when John Cena would be like, come my Bulgarian friends, let's all share in America together. So, I don't know, I think the choice was, all the choices were strange in this capture the flag match.
Yeah, pretty much capture the flag, it's what it was instead of a flag match. Yeah.
So the next match was Mike Kanellis, I think that's how you say his name, versus Sami Zayn.
Yes.
This guy came from, I think, was it Ring of Honor or Impact? I can't remember which. And the gimmick that they're doing with him and his wife is love.
Yeah, they're muddy. They went, I think they said that they went on a 2-month honeymoon. And I don't know what was up with that. That needed to be said, but they went on a 2-month honeymoon somewhere. And Maria's there, try to get in the way in the match too, getting herself in the corner. And it's like, stay in your lane. This is not your match. You don't need to be in here. Let them fight.
Yeah.
The men fight.
Let them fight.
Unless you want to become a wrestler, and then you can get in the ring with the other women and see what you got.
It is.
Show us.
It is interesting how they treat valets. That again, okay, Lana wanted to wrestle this whole time, and now they finally let her wrestle, but she's not with Rusev. How come she can't still be with Rusev and be a wrestler? That's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna finally do it with her, but it's always like, oh, I can only wrestle if we're facing another couple. And I don't know. I just think it's strange. I don't know why the WWE has that strange policy, but hey, you know what? My boo Sami Zayn won. He never gets to win.
He doesn't. I feel so bad. Like, pay-per-views, he's either gotten hurt, he's lost, he's like, him and Kevin Owens, they have some great matches, and it just always falls short.
He
but
really is an underdog.
He really is, and he won this one, and it was good for him. Like, in my head right now, I could hear his theme song just playing, like, oh.
Yes, I love my Sami Zayn.
Yes.
So happy he got the win.
Definitely.
I don't know about this love gimmick with Mike and Maria, though. I hope they figure something out.
I don't know
the crowd
what that's
doesn't
going
really
about.
seem to like it either.
No.
And I know we're supposed to hate him, but I also don't feel like they hate it. I feel like they're just confused. Like, oh, am I supposed to hate how in love
they are? Is it kind of trying to be like another Miz and Marise trying to pull on there? I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, but they're still not as hateable. And for Marisa and the Miz, it's more, it's less like, oh, look at us, we're in love. It's more just like, we're the it couple. I don't know, it's just different. They come across more organic in a way, which is weird to say about The Miz. So finally, the highlight of the night, the Punjabi prison match.
That
with
was
bamboo reinforced with steel.
That was a very interesting cage that they were in. I guess it's been 10 years since they've had a match like that, which is very interesting.
Good reason.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'd ever want to be kind of like locked up in that cage, like the spikes, the needle, like the tall, like, I don't know. It was definitely interesting.
It was weird.
Choice, for sure.
Yeah, it was weird that every time they said steel reinforced bamboo, I giggled. Every time it was said like 7 times, and I kept giggling because I'm like, why didn't you just make it out of steel then?
Exactly,
You
right?
need the bamboo for. Punjabi prison. You won't be able to tell it's Punjabi if we don't use bamboo, I guess.
Actually, that was probably my second favorite match watching this, because I mean, I love Randy Orton. I've been a fan of him for, years. And, at Jinder Mahal, I will give it to him, though. He definitely, I would have never imagined him to be WWE champion.
Never.
And, good for him, because he was an underdog. Nobody ever thought he'd get this far, and look at him now. Like, transformation or what?
Yeah.
He definitely has come a long way. But I was not happy with the ending. I was not happy with his little 2 side kicks that he had that was interfering in the match. And I wish they would have stayed out of it, because who knows what could have happened.
I loved it. I loved them interfering, because the way they interfered was so funny to me. Like, if anyone's ever
tried
played,
to fight them.
Right. If anyone's ever played Mario, when you get to like the castle levels, you're kind of over lava and you're on these like nets and you kind of bop the turtles off.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw in my head with the Singh brothers is like Randy Orton was Mario going pop, and the Singh brother was like, bah, I don't know which one it was, but he was like, bye, and he fell through a table. And then watching them like, oh, I'm small enough to fit through the holes and small enough to hide under the... Like, it was just comedy.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere in some scenes, and I was like, where'd you guys come from? Like, leave them alone. Like, I was like, man.
The kendo sticks was interesting because they were bleeding and stuff.
Yes. I mean, honestly, they're kendo sticks, but I guarantee you they hurt.
Oh, yeah,
they
you
hurt.
can see the welts.
And then, like, they break, you still hit them, so... Those pieces, like, they cut into you, and man, it wasn't a pretty sight, Randy Orton was bleeding by his face when he was by the end.
I saw his arm.
Or was it his arm?
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been his face too.
I think like the corner or something.
Here's the thing: it was hard to see. Like the cameraman couldn't get into the first layer, so they were shooting through the bamboo. Maybe you guys should have planned for that. It was really just kind of hard to see half the time. Yeah, probably one of the worst quality-wise, like camera work. I know they did their best. Yeah. But as far as feeling like I could see what was happening, I didn't really feel that way till they got out to the second gate. And then
that's when you saw more, and I feel like that's when you kind of got more into it when you were able to see what was going on in the second one. Definitely.
Right. And then Great Khali came out and choked and held Randy Orton in place so that Jinder could win. Let me back up real quick and talk about the Punjabi prison match. For anyone who doesn't know the history, this is the third one. The first one was supposed to be Great Khali versus The Undertaker. I can't remember what happened, but Khali had to be replaced by The Big Show.
I heard Undertaker won that match, though.
Yeah, Undertaker
right?
won. So
Yeah,
Undertaker would have probably beaten Great Khali in that match.
Definitely.
The next time it was Great Khali versus Batista, and Batista won that match.
Oh, wow.
So I wonder if Khali was just gonna always lose the Punjabi prison matches. It's just weird. But
or maybe he's having a revenge where it's like, we need one of our people to actually win this match.
Maybe that was the story they were telling. Like, what happened to me won't happen to you. That's interesting.
There you go.
I definitely know they did it for the Indian audience too, because the Great Khali is still so big in India. Like, he's like a legend. So for the Indian audiences, they were watching a legend come and help the new Indian like champion. So that was, that's why that one was done. And then the other interesting thing to me is that this is such a complicated thing. It's even more complicated than the flags. You have to ask a referee to open a door, and then you only have 60 seconds to get out of that door, and then the door will close, and there are 3 doors.
Yes, that was a little confusing. I was like, which door are they at? And, like, how close do you have to be for them to open up that door? Like, I don't know. That
I don't even think you
confusing.
had to be close. Yeah, it was very confusing, and I think
confusing.
That's a mistake, and that's the biggest reason to me why this prison match needs to never come back. Is the two things. It's hard to see, and apparently for the people in the audience, they couldn't see it all. And it's too confusing for people to just get the rules. Like, this is wrestling. There's a reason we have stereotypes, okay? We need it simple.
Definitely.
So overall, I'd say for me, this pay-per-view was fine. It was more boring than I expected, but nothing, I think, atrociously bad. What did you think about it?
Definitely. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It was pretty good. I mean, you had your matches that stood out more than others. Some of them were just kind of like quick. Okay, that one's over with. On to the next one. But I honestly think the tag team champions stole the show. That was, and it sucks because they were the first match. So it's like I guess you got the hype up with the audience and get everybody going.
Right.
And then I think it kind of just like went down. And then you have your Punjabi prison match where that was kind of like, I guess, exciting for a little bit, but being in the audience, you wouldn't be able to see. We couldn't even really see from home. I was so disappointed when the Great Khali came out. At first I was like, what is he doing out here? What, he hasn't been around in how long, and he just like magically appears. And then I was so sad to see Randy Orton just choke. Just hanging there.
His hands look so big around Orton's neck, too.
I guess. He was like, his big old hands, he's just hanging there. And I'm just like, is he really just hopping on over, climbing on down, like, win like nothing?
Yep.
So
I forgot to mention that. The fact that you win this match by just your feet touching the ground versus, like, tapping out, that's weird, too. It's kind of anticlimactic, in a way.
I feel like they've had, like, a match like that before, like, where you'd have, like, a steel cage match where all you have to do is climb over, like, the steel cage,
but
like,
usually
back in
you
the
can
day.
still tap somebody out in those, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so with this one, you couldn't. Like,
there was no
tap out,
or anything.
You had to boots on the ground. To me, it would have added just a little bit more if you both have to escape and then the first person to a pin wins or something.
Yeah.
Instead, you kind of get, I won a race.
Yeah.
Like,
especially when you have the help from someone, I think Jinder Mahal had it in his favor the whole night, and Randy Orton just kind of got,
so makes him a heel.
Yes.
So that's overall our thoughts on Battleground. Thank you guys for listening. Kind of a shorter episode today because our Mae Young episode was so long last time. I wanted to give your ears a break. Let me know what you think. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us 5-star ratings so that one day we can buy better sound equipment and you don't have to hear these crickets in the background. Raelene, do you want to tell people where to find you, like your Instagram or anything like that? Feel free to share.
I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Raelene_Marie, and Raelene is RAELENE. So come give me a follow and follow you back.
Yeah, because she's
friends.
so pretty. I love her. Anyway, thank you for coming on the show. You guys
Thank you for having me. I feel so honored. This is my first podcast, so I hope you're all entertained, and I hope to be back again. Yes. I loved it.
We would love to have you back, definitely. So you guys can follow Women Wrestling Friends on Twitter as Women Wrestling F, because we couldn't fit the friends, and you can follow me at SarahTheRebel, and normally Misfits Tamara is here. You can find her at Misfits Tamara, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.